Before today's episode begins, everybody, I just want to very quickly thank the sponsors for this video, the guys behind the brand new Orphan Black game on the iTunes store right now. If you've never watched the show Orphan Black before, I can't recommend it enough. It's trippy, it's badass, it's unique, and it's funny. It's a show with clones in a present-day city working with each other to solve a conspiracy. What's not to love? And the game itself is a very damn stylish and pretty damn cool puzzler that extends the world of Orphan Black from Season 4, allowing you to play as all the clones up to that point, including Tony. It's addictive and varied, oftentimes really damn tricky, and is constantly throwing new threats and obstacles you have to juggle around with every step you take, changing the world around you on the isometric boards. Please check the description below to give the game a look, and if you're a fan of the show, I very much recommend it. Thanks for listening. It is a very miserable day. Caddy is walking into his office.
I can't wait to start work.
Caddy can't wait to start work. Caddy walked into his office earlier and is now in his office. Caddy has sat down and is ready to start work. Oh dear, Caddy looks angry at the narrator.
Shut up!
But Caddy doesn't realise he's caught a disease.
Shut up! Wait, what?
Caddy has hepatitis.
My God. I knew I watched far too much Peppa Pig in the last episode. God damn it! Now I have to move on to another cartoon intellectual property to cure my illness.
Caddy is going to cure his hepatitis.
But who do I turn to though? Where do I go? I mean, I'm gonna die if I don't cure this, so what do I do? Oh dear. Greetings and salutations, my beautiful people, and welcome to the Caddicarus show. I always have to do the deciding whether or not a game or anything else deserves to be slaughtered or salvaged. And today in the UK, it's Mother's Day, that one day of the year where everybody celebrates and rejoices around the hard work and unconditional love that mothers have for their children all over the country. So I'm just going to say right now, Mum, this video isn't for you. She doesn't even like video games. There are more Simpsons games in the world than germs in my pants, scientific fact. And because of that, there are some hurrah ones, along with a lot of ones. And today we're talking about one of the apparent worst games of all time, The Simpsons
Wrestling
on PS1, released in 2001. But you know, I may have been really unlucky with Simpsons games in the past, like with Simpsons skateboarding. But maybe this game from a previous console and a few years prior might have been when Simpsons games hit their groove, and the critics were a bit too harsh on it. I mean, if we stick the disc in the computer to have a look at some of the files, we can see an STR file called Big Ape. Oh, I think I know where this game belongs. You know what I'm saying? Oh, bloody bumfluff. I was hoping to take my last joke back of putting this thing in a big bin, but just look at this. I know the theme song is there, but come on, that's the least a PS1 game disc can do. And from the blandest start screen I've ever seen in my life, onto the blandest menu I've ever seen, onto the blandest character select I've ever seen, the entire first 2 minutes of this game should persuade you enough to run away from it as fast as you possibly can. Who hired the artist behind Zelda CDI? What's with these contemptuous little Microsoft Paint portraits? You were right to be worried, you little Flanders. Krusty's head looks slightly askew, Homer is wearing Hulk hands and has an abnormally straight nose. And one of Bart's fingers looks like it can open a can of ravioli. Ugh, I don't know who to pick, I honestly don't care that much, so how about we go with Groundskeeper Willie? He is on the front of the box and the title screen after all, absolutely wailing on Homer, and I want to be a #1 winner like my dear old Willie, so yeah, select him and... This game was made in the year 2001, the year of Max Payne, Halo, Paper Mario, Devil May Cry, Conera 2, Conker's Bad Fur Day, Clive Barker's Undying, Eco, Silent Hill 2, Pro Skater 3, Manchester Odyssey, Metal Gear Solid 2, Luigi's Mansion, Super Smash Bros. Melee, Pikmin, Jak and Daxter, and Lego Racers 2. Oh. And the game can't even muster the insy-tinsy, minuscule ounce of strength to have a single cutscene or anything to explain a plot. And if you're gonna say that's unfair to compare the PS1 to the Xbox, well, Metal Gear Solid 1 happened on the PS1, so blow me. like a big bubbly balloon. So since this game doesn't have the decent courtesy to explain why groundskeeper Willie is sitting on Lisa Simpson's face, call the authorities please, let's read the book that comes with the game. It turns out that aliens have basically infected Springfield with the sole desire to beat the bagoonjas out of each other, because they've apparently challenged the whole world to a fight. So yeah, I mean, I guess it's a bit better than skateboarding's plot of winning a $99 prize competition, but it's still stuck on the good story scale in between the time I went to the shops and fell over and Metal Gear Solid 5.
But you know, maybe the gameplay will be good because, you know, we're playing a game after all. We're not reading a novel. So then, Homer, give me your best shot. Like a home run, like a homer.
You couldn't scare me on the scariest day of your life if you had an electrified scaring machine.
Oh, that wasn't funny.
Okay, well, that was a bad start, but at least it doesn't look terrible. For a PS1 cell shading style, it doesn't look too bad, honestly, and the animations are spot on from how they would be in the show. The problem is the rest of the characters in the background bought their Parappa the Rapper shoes, but just don't decide to move at all. Or bounce, or stretch, or comment on anything. They just stand there, actually like cardboard cutouts. That's exactly what they are. Oh no, I was wrong! Look! He moved his head! Well, that, and there's apparently 10 different locations, which I didn't manage to see because I gave up because the game is dreadful. But if they are anything like the few I managed to see, then damn it. Look at them. I mean, they're all fundamentally exactly the same. Same ring, same boxy outer bit. You have different graphics relevant to the show itself, but it's still the exact same stuff here, along with the cardboard cutouts everywhere. Sounds I can't really comment on. The music fits the mood okay, even though it's one of the most forgettable soundtracks I've ever heard, and the voices are the original cast. It's just a shame that only a handful of lines are funny and actually relevant between each fighter taunting each other specifically.
I'm gonna make you pay for what the Scots did to cuisine.
But mostly just leave you feeling like a freezer whose owner is broke, cold and empty inside.
You almost had me fooled, Stinger Boy. That's one convincing costume.
I hear Principal Skinner may let you graduate 6th grade next year.
Okay, so I've knocked out Homer onto the ground, but the round isn't over. What do I do? Hello, what do I do? Hello? Homer? Homie? Why isn't anything happening? Look, all I'm managing to do is pogo stick Homer's ass over and over again. Just do something. Come on, do something. Come on, do something. Oh, fuck, Willie is down. Come on, please move on. Do something. Oh, yes. The L triggers. Perfect. That's how you finish off enemies. Gotcha. And that's a lovely segue onto the controls. How about them, eh? Well, they're awful. What more did you expect? Come on, you need to go and get a prescription for medication that doesn't make you expect things as much. I mean, it's abundantly clear from the offset that this is not a wrestling game. Not that I'm a connoisseur, but this isn't what I think a wrestling game would feel like. It's more akin to a beat 'em up than anything. You run around, jump, use a limited number of attacks and grapples, and button mash like fuck to win. That's all it is. I don't really quite get the wrestling angle they're advertising here, and Willie never even does that in the game. Poor old Willie. Don't you just hate it when you see abused Willies? And like any awful game, of course you get delayed responses to your inputs, and some things just make absolutely no sense, like here. I'm trying to grapple throughout this entire fight, but the opponent gives me absolutely no chance or opportunity to grapple. They just interrupt you without fail every single time. But does the gameplay accommodate for this and let you easily get behind opponents or stun them with a strong attack that can be interrupted if you don't time it well enough, giving you a chance to grapple them? No, there's no balance of power that each fighter has to tip in their favor, no ways to exploit weaknesses for each fighter depending on the wind-ups and strengths of attacks, no decent maneuverability or even any way to read what the opponent is really doing because of how stiff everything looks. It just fails as a fighter and a beat 'em up, and the controls just make it all the more torturous.
Game.
Back on the beat 'em up stuff though, if you check this out here, you get power-ups every so often from more stamina, health boosts, and super speed. But do they appear at interesting times? No. Is there a good indication when they're coming or where they'll appear? No. And do they change the game up at all? No. All they exist to do is make the match go on 3 years longer than it has any right to. That's all they are, waste of time. You get more health, the match lasts longer. You get more stamina, the match lasts longer. That's all it really is. Even these taunt letters that you collect and then activate for invulnerability once you find enough of them don't make you feel powerful powerful or anything. It helps you, absolutely, but it doesn't feel good, which is like half the fun of playing a fighting game. And what happens if the enemy gets it? Well, you can't attack them because they're invulnerable, so you just run around in circles until it ends. Like, what is this shit? Who designed this? Did they not think that this just extends things for no reason? I'm not doing anything other than running away in circles until the power-up fades. Was there nothing else they could throw in to spice this up? It's like having a final smash in Smash Brothers, but with no way to counteract it, no way to avoid it, no way to learn specific special attacks to use it to your advantage or get around them, and no way to feel powerful at all once you get it and risk fucking wasting it, or on the other end, feel scared that another player has it, but with a little bit of hope that you can avoid it if it activates. But here, there's just no dynamics. You just run around until the game decides that you can carry on. There's no challenge here. Just wait for the fucking invulnerability to run out. The game plays like getting an apple out of a soggy paper bag full of cockroaches. No one wants to do it in the first place, and even if you did, you'd be covered in cockroaches with a half-eaten soggy apple in your soggy hand with cockroaches on it.
Look, this is just one of the fucking worst individual add-on interactive pieces of media for an electronic entertainment machine that I've ever played in my life, and I'm looking for any excuse to not talk about it anymore, so how about we change the channel? Oh, you don't want to? Well, allow me.
Is there something not in order?
Hello, boys and girls, and welcome to Story Time with Daddy Caddy. Now, once again, I hope you're all sitting comfortably because today we're talking about a good friend of... I'm recording! Shush, I'm recording! I'm making my show! Leave me alone, Mum! I'm old enough to wash me old pants! Shut up, stop laughing, stop laughing. Stop laughing or I'll end you! Okay, so today we're talking about a good old sheepy friend of mine, and his name is Baba Black Sheep. Baba Black Sheep, have you any wool? Yes sir, yes sir. 3 bags full. 1 for the master, and 1 for the Dane, and 1 for the little boy who lives down the drain. And he hasn't got much useful wool right now because he's too busy dying of rat poisoning and cholera.
It's also worth saying that 9 times out of 10, you can just hit the small attack button, get a combo going, and just keep repeating it to win.
Gameplay.
Oh, fucking hell, Paul!
And here's another thing, with Willy in particular, if he lands a 3-hit combo correctly, he can then land a 4th hit to immediately knock down his opponent and keep wailing on them until they get back up again. In yet another missed bit of potential, if you land the 3 hits correctly, the 4th hit takes so much longer to start and actually make contact that the computer player can immediately interrupt your combo at that point and mean that you will never be able to use that 4th hit ability at all. The computer will just automatically hit you at that point no matter what. Like, where's the skill? Where's the fairness here? It's basically luck based on how much the AI is paying attention, and there's nothing else you can do as an offensive player to make it trickier for your opponent to cancel out this special move, and it's far too easy for the opponent to cancel it out whenever they just want to. You've got 3D movement here. You'd think that if a 2D moving fighting game would get this right, why can't this? By the way, in this fighting game where you fight and have to avoid losing the fight with your own reactions in the fight, you can't guard. There's no block ability at all. I'm sorry, I'm really failing to see how this is supposed to be fun, let alone a fair fighting brawler game, especially considering there is a stamina meter. How hard would it be to include a guard mechanic where you lose a bit of your stamina and your health, and therefore the ability to use any of your attacks if you decide to spam block, and then end up staggered if you lose all of your stamina during a blocking phase? There's just nothing to this game at all. Even with the stamina mechanic, you need the right amount of it to match alongside with each action button corresponding to each attack that you have in your arsenal. But when the only combo that you have is the weakest attack, the next attack is strong but way too risky and singular, and the next attack is unique to your character but definitely never worth waiting for that much stamina, what's the point? Especially with no guarding. What stamina are you referring to exactly? Why do they need stamina?
Of course, I can't lie when I say it's immensely pleasurable to smack Lisa Simpson around while she's stuck on the end of a garden rake. But when all of your gameplay in your fighting game revolves around you running around in circles, waiting for your stamina to come back, and then trying out between a total of 3 different moves with 1 combo per character, It gets very boring after about 40 seconds, and it doesn't seem to ever change from stage to stage.
Even the boss battles that I ended up looking up, because the game is dreadful, don't even look remotely different, so what the fuck's even the point? Apart from the grapples and running around bouncing on the edge of the ring being able to charge attack into each other, there's just nothing here. It's as flat as my life ambitions. And fuck the Bumblebee guy, because he has the most overpowered and bullshit special attack in the game. He sets his Chihuahua on you, fair enough, but it constantly follows you, chomps big health off you without fail, and has no way for you to attack it back, lasts forever, and by the time it's run out, he can just use it again because of how the attacks work only on how much stamina you have and nothing else. The stamina regains by the time that fucking attack is over, so he just keeps on using it. And when it's not being a load of Billy Bull like that, the AI can also be a complete joke. They begin every single match with the strongest far reach attack, and for whatever reason when you're invulnerable, the computer player still thinks it's a good idea to fucking attack you. And that also means that they're all coded and behave in exactly the same way. Aha! Behave! Behave!
Yeah, I gave up here because this game is a load of old bollocks and I don't want to play it anymore, so yeah, Simpsons Wrestling gets the slaughter. And as always, if it's your birthday today or watching this video, happy freaking birthday to you, and please remember to stay beautiful.
Subscribe.
I knew I watched too much Peppa Pig in the last episode, god damn it! Now I have- oh, David Tennant fell over. Greetings and salutations, my beautiful people, and welcome to the Caddicarus show. I always have to do the damn it! Now I have to move on to another cartoon intellectual property to kill. Fuck! I knew I